Today we're going to be showing you the kind of process we go through for planning a trip to China that we've got coming up in late May, but it could be a trip to anywhere. First thing for us looking at a new trip is obviously deciding where to go. So let's just rewind the clock a little bit. We initially thought we were going to go to Japan. We kind of wanted something with a little bit more natural beauty and, you know, something kind of rivaling something like the Grand Canyon in America. And we'd seen a few videos of China and a place called Zhangjiajie. It's a place with tall limestone type cliffs that were used as a feature for the James Cameron Avatar film. A great place to anchor a trip around. We would love to go there. It's an outdoorsy kind of place where you can do some walking. It's a national park. It's got a lot of natural beauty. Google Flights is where we tend to start. We look at a one-way flight from Nelson, and you don't have to do a specific place in here. You can go Asia, the continent, and you can go explore. So this brings up a map. And so we were looking at Tokyo, and it'll tell you, it's not exactly right. You need to drill into this a little bit, but you know, it's showing you that a flight to Tokyo is about 1,000 New Zealand dollars, whereas Shanghai, you can see, is showing up as being quite a bit cheaper. Now, it may not be that much cheaper, but it definitely looks like it could be cheaper. And so, yeah, we would click in here and we'd go, okay, well, we want to go to Shanghai, and you can click on Shanghai, obviously, and you can see the different flight options here. And you can go view flights, and obviously this is just showing one particular date, but it gives, you know, most airlines have daily flights. It'll give you what it thinks is its top flights. So in this case, it's kind of saying the best flight is also the cheapest. That's not always the case. Sometimes the best flight will be the one that's quickest or with the least number of stops. And you can see there's all these other options. So we could also look at an option that goes Air New Zealand Qantas Cathay. There's one that goes Air New Zealand China Southern. China Southern, I think, flies into Auckland as well. And we really like the map, in the fact that when you're looking at that map, you can see where your money might take you and just what your options might be in that area of the world. So yeah, from here, we would go and actually use, for us, we would probably use the Air New Zealand site. So we'd go to the Air New Zealand site, then start looking at our flight options in terms of a direct one-way flight and then also a return flight. And then, yeah, just get a general idea of cost. We're not going to book anything at this stage. We're just looking at the best routing for us, that flights are available when we want to go, and they're kind of in the ballpark in terms of cost. Okay, let's have a look at a quick budget. Here's our very ballpark kind of budget. We start obviously with airfares, and I know a lot of people that watch our YouTube videos are based in the US, and I've just put in the US dollar amounts here. Just travel insurance, obviously an important factor. If we are booking the airfares and paying on our credit card, we'll get travel insurance included. Hotels in China, we kind of set a budget for ourselves. We'll probably be hotels. We've been there before, and we've stayed in, you know, okay to very nice hotels. And we know once you get out of the main centers, Beijing and Shanghai, we're pretty confident we'll spend $150 or less a night. And we might do a few more like homestay style places. Food, we tend to be pretty frugal when it comes to food. I've set a budget there of $60 a day. Trains, kind of just took a bit of a guess, had a look at a couple of train legs roughly. We're going to take probably at least 9 trains, and yeah, about $65 each on average per leg. Then we throw in just a little bit of local travel, so getting around on the local metro buses, $20 a day. Taxis, if you've seen any of our videos, I hate taxis, really don't use taxis unless I have to. I'd much rather take a public bus. Miscellaneous other, just having a little bit of to come and go on. Mobile phone plan. Attractions and tours, This is a bit of a, it could be double that for all I know, but we just took a rough guess. We don't do lots of expensive tours, but we will want to pay to go into attractions. So the national park in Zhangjiajie, and we'd probably also go to Chengdu and go see the pandas. So yeah, roughly 13,500 New Zealand dollars. We don't mind if we spend a little bit more than that, and if it costs, $2,000 or $3,000 more than that, that won't be the end of the world. Routing and itinerary. If we're going to China, how do we work out where we're going and what we're going to see? We started with the Zhangjiajie kind of central part of where we thought we would go. We know Chengdu is near there, and we also know another city, a major city called Chongqing is near there. So that's kind of those two cities and a kind of a more rural national park area formed the backbone of where we thought we would go. This is obviously centered on China. You can see Shanghai up here. Anything with a yellow star, that's a place we've been already. Anything with a green flag, that's places we kind of are targeting to go either on this trip or might like to go on future trips. So from doing some research, both in terms of reading the Lonely Planet book, a little bit of Googling, a little bit of YouTube, and my friend ChatGPT, which is just a game changer. If you're not using ChatGPT to help you plan trips, I think you're missing out. If we're going to go from Shanghai all the way across to Chengdu, which is over here, but then we started to think, well, if we're going to go all the way across here, Zhangjiajie is kind of here, Tianmen Mountain, that's in Zhangjiajie. So it's kind of central China. If we were going to go to those places, it might make more sense to exit via Hong Kong down here. The little yellow star is Hong Kong because we've been there before. We then went, that probably makes more sense. Into Shanghai, out of Hong Kong. We're not backtracking all the way back across. Do a big long train at the start and then slowly make our way down this way and exit via Hong Kong. This is our itinerary at this stage. Nanjing, Chongqing, Chengdu, Zhangjiajie, Furong Town, Fenghuang, Yangzhou, Guilin, Guangzhou, and then Hong Kong. And we document this all as we go in the spreadsheet, obviously. Our places we're going, the nights, the check-in dates, our rough cost. And then once we start making bookings, you'll see out to the side here, we've got the actual hotel we're staying in and our booking link to our booking reference. But probably seen this and done this before. We typically use booking.com, but there's also this thing called trip.com. So trip.com is something we've just come across recently, and it's kind of been recommended as being a bit cheaper to use for China. And it kind of works the same way as booking.com. And I'm just going to quickly show you how we use it. So if we're going to Chengdu, we'll just do a search, 6th of June, 6th to the 10th. This is pretty much, and you'll see anything with a heart is something I've already favorited. So we'll typically start with just a search like this, but we like to use the filters. So we'd usually go for, based on reviews, we'd go very good, 8+. We could turn breakfast included on or off. So we'll always go for no prepayment and free cancellation. So we'd start with that. And then we'll go budget per night. So in terms of New Zealand dollars, it's a big range. We'll bring that down. Let's start with 180 bucks New Zealand. And hopefully everything doesn't disappear. And then we'll just go show a map. Obviously, you want to work out where in the city you want to stay. So we start with location, and then we look at hotels that are around that area. This is showing the price for the 4 nights. So you can see here my $150 a night budget. I should be able to go up to 600 bucks. So there's a good range of places that I can choose. And we'll just go in and favorite one, and then we'll start looking at the ones around it and reading some of the reviews, and then eventually booking. Looking at, let's say we look at this one. I think this is the one we've actually booked. I think we've booked this one. So you can see it's got a 9.3 out of 10 rating. Then it just shows you the different rooms. So down here, you'll see what the size of the room is, what's included, and you'll have a look at the pictures of the room. See if it's, we kind of like to see if we can get a chair or a couch in the place. That's probably why we chose this one. It's just a basic hotel room, but you see there, hopefully it might have a couch. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable if you're there for a few days. Yeah, and then, yeah, we've got breakfast included in this price, free cancellation before the 5th of June. So that's right up till including the day before check-in. So that's accommodation and how we book that. Let's have a look at trains. So trip.com is a good place for China for trains. First thing I'll mention, be very aware that most cities in China, so if you go Shanghai, will have more than one station. So we're going Shanghai to Nanjing. The tickets don't become available until 15 days before the actual journey. So at the moment, you can, through this website, you can reserve tickets where it's got the little clock. So the 28th is not quite available yet. So let me just check 27th. And then trip.com, 15 days before the journey, will look to acquire the tickets. They'll charge you a small fee, which is included in the price, we'll see. And they will book the tickets using your passport number. And then you use your passport as your ticket. So here you'll see 4 train stations, 4 departure stations. And here you can see the kind of rough costs. And it shows you which station. So Shanghai Hokkaido is the big, massive station out near the Shanghai Hokkaido airport, not the Pudong airport. The G trains are the high-speed trains. So you can see there a little bit, well, this is a short leg. What is it? An hour to 2 hours. They're reasonably cheap, but you'll see down here somewhere, there are very cheap fares. There, $11.72 New Zealand. So that's going from Shanghai station to Nanjing station, which is basically the old stations, not the high-speed stations. And it's going to take almost 4 hours, but it's quite a bit cheaper. So just bear in mind that you do need to be very aware of which station you're going from and to. But when you go to select that ticket, so let's say we were doing this one, it's a K train, which is a very old, slow train. You get the choice of a hard seat, and it shows you a picture of the seats. They're not actually hard, they're not made of wood. Cheap economy style airline seat, 3+2. You can also do a hard sleeper, which is a 3-bunk bed kind of arrangement if you're doing a longer train. We've never done one of those. But you can also do a soft sleeper, which is a 4-bunk, two lots of 2 bunks. We've definitely done those before in China, and they're a really good way to travel if you're going overnight or 6 or 7 hours in a train. You could use that. But I think this time, looking at the pricing so far, you see that's $36.90. I'm either going to do a hard seat or I'm going to do a fast train that's only $38. And in the fast train, let's just pick one fast train. Even second class is quite a nice seat, and you're getting there in half the time or under half the time. So this is going to be brief because this is mainly Sarah's remit. So yeah, again, she's using this book, the China Lonely Planet book, to look at things to do, and she's making notes. Actually fill out a sheet in here for each city, the things that we want to go and see and do, and we'll put them in a list. And we may or may not tick them all off, but we'll have a list of the things that are interested in each place. And here you'll see we've got some very brief notes. So Nanjing's ancient capital, the Ming city walls, there's lakes and parks. Chongqing, it's a hills and rivers city, neon skyline, dramatic super city. So we've got a very rough idea of, here's the pandas in Chengdu, a rough idea of what's in each of these places. Feng Huang, interestingly, there's a program on television called Race Across the World. And we came across that because they visited this place and it looked really cool. So we've added that to our itinerary. Mark which ones are the must-sees. The Avatar Mountain, gondola up into the mountains, that kind of thing. If we want to definitely do it's a bike ride into the rice fields at this place that we might do. that if we decide that's, you know, a must do, we'll prioritize it that way. So there'll be the must do's and the optionals. We like to make sure we do is we document everything as we go. So everything is in here and documented so that we can look back on it. I can share this with Sarah. We've both got a copy of it. And as we update things, it's all in here and keeps us on track. Just to recap the steps we went through, we obviously decided where we were going to go. We came up with a rough budget, general idea of costs. We decided on our route. We started doing some research about where to go and what to see, and that interchangeably, you know, flicks back to the route. You may need to update your route and obviously your budget depending on the research. Then we'll start to book. So at the moment we've booked flights. We've booked 5 hotels so far, you can see here. And we've booked no trains because we can't do that yet, but we'll start to book those from about the middle of April. We'll start booking the trains. Then the main thing we like to make sure we do is we document everything as we go. So if you've got questions about this, or if you're thinking about going to China and want to know more about what we've already found out or what we know from having been there before, or if you've been there before and have got suggestions about some of these places, we'd love to hear about things you've seen and done that we maybe should be adding in here. If you're new here and haven't seen us before and watched any of our videos, I hope you might check a few out. If you're an existing subscriber, thanks very much for coming along with us on our trips and our journey. We hope you've enjoyed watching some of the stuff we've been doing. Okay, thanks for watching. And yeah, I might do another one of these depending on what people think. We'll catch you again soon. Okay, bye for now. Cheers.